Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai, Bolo Sachinandana Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Srila Guruji Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sham. Hare Krishna. Pranam to all Prabhus and Didis. Please accept my pranams. Hare Krishna. There's a very special group of appearance days of great saints in our line. It was observed yesterday, but since we're having a discourse today, I thought I would mention their glories. 5 different personalities in one day, all Lord Chaitanya's associates. Lord Chaitanya is, as we all know, Radha Krishna's combined incarnation. We all follow Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day. It's very special. Maybe we can... No problem, it's coming by.
Yeah, it will come back.
Some entertainment. No problem. As, Sanatan Dharma followers, as Hare Krishna devotees, we all come together and celebrate Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day. Or we celebrate Gaur Purnima, Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. Or we celebrate Ram Nomi, Lord Ram's appearance day. We celebrate Nrsimha Chaturdasi, Lord Nrsimhadev appearance day. We celebrate Varaha Dwadasi, Lord Varahadev's appearance day. However, it's said that just as great as celebrating the Lord's appearance is celebrating... हो गया. ठीक है, no problem. बंद किया, कोई बात नहीं. हाँ? Oh, ठीक है. चल नहीं रहा. हाँ, ये ठीक है, बस. जब बोर हो जाते तो अब ध्यान करो ठाकुर जी का. Comfortable, April ji? ठीक है. So just as important as celebrating the Lord's appearance day is celebrating his dear devotees. They're very special. So yesterday we observed a day that has 5 different personalities, appearance and disappearance. And it also falls in the same day of the beginning of spring, Vasanta Panchami. Not in Toronto. Also not in Burlington or Mississauga. After I come to a place 2-3 times, I get all the names, no? Not the beginning of spring in Brampton, not the beginning of spring in Oakville. But in Vrindavan, they celebrate it as the end of winter, beginning of spring. Vasanta Panchami. Everyone wears yellow. Not just everyone wears yellow sari and dhoti, but even the fields wear yellow. Why? All the mustard seeds, they have their flowers coming, and you'll see, like we went to your, a place near Aligarh, and fields and fields and fields of mustard seeds, and a very beautiful yellow complexion. Golden complexion, like the complexion of Srimati Radhika. So all of Vrindavan is dressed, very sweetly, very beautifully in this Vasanta Ritu. Vasanta spring is called the king of all seasons. And he visits very briefly here. He comes for only a couple weeks, right? In New York it's similar, right? Vasanta spring will come for a couple weeks and all of a sudden it'll be summer. And then before you know it, you blink your eyes and it's fall, and then you're falling into winter. One time someone asked Swami Prabhupada, I heard this, is there snow in Golok Vrindavan, the eternal world, for Radha Krishna? And he said yes, but it's not cold for them. For them, they get to play in the snow as some fun activity. They go on top of Giriraj, or they go to Kedar Badri, and they play in the snow. Why? And he said also when they want to play in the snow, there's many places in this world they can do it. Our Thakurji, Radha and Krishna, we have a big ashram, 60 acres, and our Guruji would say, yes, Radha Krishna came there because they want to experience the snow. At 60 acres, they can play their own playground. And he said, when you're serving them, you should also make Western preparations. He said they came to try it out. Like today, we also made Western preparations for Thakurji. If you show this to them in In India, they say, what is this? What have you made? Very strange, new creation. But Krishna is Rasa Vaisa. He likes to taste all these things, especially when you make them with devotion. Anything you make with devotion. Krishna says, even a leaf I accept. You know, it's very easy to please Krishna, very hard to please each other and oneself. We're always judging ourselves. Who knows? I am, maybe not. I'm actually pretty happy. I'm pretty peaceful. But you know, we find that problem, self-judgment and trying to please each other. But to please Krishna is very easy. He's a very satisfied person. You know, Krishna is peace. You see, as Lord Vishnu, he's always relaxing, resting. In his resting state, he's doing everything. Only by his thoughts. This whole world is like his dream. And he's breathing in and breathing out and maintaining everything. But Krishna is very peaceful. To please him is very easy. Krishna says, just give me a leaf, a flower, some water. If you like, with devotion, I accept. Not so hard, right? If you say, okay, Mataji, I'm giving you a plate of spinach. I came to the house program and all they're giving me is a piece of spinach. Krishna says, no problem. You give me there's a famous, beautiful story. One time, a very sweet story. See, I want to talk about these 5 personalities, but I don't want to make it boring, only like a history class. So wherever the katha goes. How is Krishna happy with only a little piece of spinach? You know, why today we have to use spinach to make our preparation. But not spinach alone, spinach with lots of cheese and ricotta and tomato and many layers. Then it's nice. Otherwise, if we have program and say, okay, here everyone, here's your plate of 20, 30 spinach leaves. Khale, very healthy food. No one will be satisfied. They think, घर गया program के लिए मजा लेने के लिए और कुछ ये हुआ साग के पत्ते. So one time the Pandavas were in exile and Draupadi Devi, she had received a special pot as a gift from the sun god called Akshay Patra. Whatever she cooked in that, she could feed thousands of people, it would never end. Only when she ate, then that would be the last portion. So one day, Duryodhan, who is the rival, leader of the Kauravas, he served this great sage called Durvasa. Actually, it's related, Vasanta spring, the beginning of the spring is also related to Durvasa Rishi. So anyhow, his kathas enter the chat. Today is also connected to him. So Duryodhan, he worshipped this saint very nicely, sage. And then he told the sage offered him a boon. And he asked for a very interesting boon. He said, I want you to go meet the Pandavas in the afternoon time, like 4 or 5 p.m. before Sandhya, and ask them for lunch. That's it. Durvasa said, Tathastu, as he like. Durvasa doesn't go anywhere alone. He goes with thousands of shishyas, disciples. He's big acharya. So Duryodhan said, I want you to go to the Pandavas in the late afternoon with all your disciples and ask for lunch. That's my boon. I'll be happy. So Durvasa went to the forest where the Pandavas were, and he arrived, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, Bhim Sen, Arjun, Nakula Sahadev, Draupadi, everyone was astonished. Oh, the sage has come. They welcomed him. And the sage said, Bhiksham Dehi, I'm hungry, feed me. Durvasa Rishi is famous. If you get on his bad side, he can destroy you. He's famous. We know what happened to Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj didn't feed him properly at the right time. He took off a thread of his hair, threw it on the ground, and fire demon came to burn Ambarish. So he's famous like that. Very easily pleased and easily angered. Duryodhan had been trying to destroy the Pandavas for a long time. He couldn't do it. So he said, now I'll do it through this sage, because he's very powerful. So the sage came and said, I'm hungry, give me lunch. And all my 10,000 followers, we have fasted the whole day. The whole day we fasted, now we're hungry. Draupadi's heart started to rush. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, okay. Draupadi had already cooked. It's 4 o'clock now. It's not lunchtime. She had cooked for the meal for the day. She had fed her, the Pandavas. And then she had eaten. That means the pot's empty. You can't use it again that day. So Yudhisthira Maharaj already said yes, no problem. Then he said, please go and take bath in the nearby lake. By the time you come back, we'll be ready with your meal. 10,000 disciples. So Draupadi went to Yudhisthira Maharaj, oh Pati, my husband, the Akshay Patra pot is finished today. We cannot feed anyone till tomorrow. What to do? Then anytime they have any difficult situation, they pray to Krishna. So Draupadi prayed to Krishna. We know her glories, right? How she prayed to Krishna before. So Draupadi prayed to Krishna, Prabhu, mera raksha karo. Oh Krishna, mera raksha karo. One of her name is Krishna, you know. She is so dear to Krishna that one of Draupadi's name is Krishna. So Krishna came at once, very quickly. It said Krishna was in Dwarka with Rukmini, eating lunch, but he left that lunch seat without even shoes. He quickly ran and appeared in the forest. He said, how can I help? She explained the situation. If we don't feed Durvasa and the sages and his devotees, then he may curse us and we may all be destroyed. We already offered him lunch. So Krishna said, no problem. When you made your offering, you must have given something to me, right? Draupadi said, yes. What did you leave for me? One tulsi leaf. We offer Krishna tulsi leaf, right? So he said, bring me the Akshay Patra, bring me the pot. And they brought it, and they saw on the side of the pot, stuck on near the lid, that tulsi leaf. She offered it to Krishna. So Krishna said, give me that tulsi leaf. So Draupadi gave him the tulsi leaf, he ate it, and Krishna burped. He said, Triptosmi, I am satisfied. All of a sudden, all the sages were bathing in the lake. They all began to burp, belch. It was like their stomach was full. Krishna is master of mystics. Yogeshwara Krishna. Everyone began to burp, and they felt like their stomach, you know, sometimes your stomach is bloated. You can't eat anything. So they thought, we've come all this way, now they're preparing lunch for all of us. If we don't accept their lunch, it'll also be an offense. Right? Then Yudhisthira, Krishna said, send Bhima to ask them, everything's ready, lunch is ready, come quickly, come quickly. So Bhima went, you know, Bhima, big Bhimsen, and he said, oh, Rishi Munis, please come for lunch, lunch is prepared, lunch is ready. And they could hear him walking through the forest, coming to the lake. So they all got up and ran away. They got out of water. They said, if we don't eat after requesting them, it's also an offense. So they all ran away. So you see, Krishna was happy with one leaf. One leaf. Very easy to please Krishna. Krishna took that one leaf and he said, Triptosmi, I am satisfied. So who wouldn't worship Krishna? Krishna is very sweet. So I'll tell you a few stories, these 5 different personalities, and we can gain some different insights from their life. And it said just by remembering the appearance of the devotees, we get a lot of benefit. So there's 5 different personalities today. I know it's going to be a lot, but we'll just touch like one example of each of them. 5 different saints in one day. I'll list them. First, Vishnupriya Devi appearance. She is Lord Chaitanya's wife before he took sannyas. So Vishnupriya Devi appearance. Next, Raghunatha Das Goswami appearance. His life. Raghunandan Thakur, a young boy, his very sweet pastimes, like Govinda age. Then there's one Pundarik Vidyanidhi, his appearance day, and Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, his disappearance day. So these 5 days. Also Vasanta Panchami. So I'll just tell one story, and from each of those stories we can try to think of something that we can perhaps take into our life, or at least remember them. So we'll start with the boy, Raghunandan Thakur. He was a young boy. His father was a doctor named Mukunda, and they were very close to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, Radha Krishna's combined incarnation. They're very close. Mukunda would be the doctor. Also Murari Gupta was a doctor, so they helped Lord Chaitanya. Anytime, you know, in bhav, in ecstasies, anytime he had any ailment, they would help him. So one time Mukunda, he left home, and he asked his son to make the offering. Normally the father is making the offering, but his son was now 5, 6 years old. He said, now you make the offering. So the mother cooked, put the plate before the deity, closed the curtain, and said, now Raghunandan, make the offering. Raghunandan, he didn't know any mantras. Like we say, when we offer something bhog, you know, the pandits, they'll do all these mantras and offer water and kancha and all these things. The boy didn't know any mantras. It was very simple, natural devotion. He just said, oh, Govinda, his Thakur is named Gopinath, little Gopinath Devi. He said, Khao, this is his mantra. Eat, khale, khale mera bhaiya. His devotion was so pure, so sweet, so innocent. The curtain was closed. Krishna, we know murtis. They can't walk and eat like that, right? People say, oh, the murti ate, pagal ho gaya sab. Sabko bekoof bana rahe. Who heard of a murti that eats? The murti is eating through, the prayer, through the devotion. They accept it and they bless the food. That's the general conception, right? We put the food there, you close the curtain, and the Lord blesses it so it's purified and sanctified, and then we can eat. Otherwise, Krishna says in Gita, if you don't offer your food, it becomes, any sin that was there in the preparation, any suffering that was caused. Even when you're cooking, little insects may be harmed, right? So, therefore you offered it. But the boy didn't think like that. The boy was very simple and innocent. He said, unless you eat the food, then the offering is not complete. And he was sitting there for 10, 20, 30 minutes praying and then crying. And so it said, anyhow, somehow or other, the food disappeared. The Lord ate the food. Then he was very happy, and he went running to his mother. And his mother was shocked. And what does she think? She was, what's your first impression? You think the boy ate it. Right? His first thought, yes, he must have eaten. He said, you ate? He said, no, mother, I didn't eat. No, like Krishna. Krishna argues with Mother Yashoda. He steals butter, and he has butter on his face. And she'll say, did you eat the butter? And he'll say, no, Maya. Nahi nahi maa ka na kaya. I didn't eat any butter. And she'll say, Arey, tera muh mein sab isara hai. On your face is all the signs. You must have eaten. He said, no, mother, I didn't eat the butter. So in the same way, the boy said, no, mother, I didn't eat the food. The father came home, right? Husband came home. And he said, let's have lunch. Lunch is finished. There's only 3 of them, right? Everything was on the bhog thali. Sabhe Bhagavan Krishna ne kha liya sab. So father was little thinking what to do. He thought definitely the boy ate. Right? If you hear, oh, there's one sage and he has this mystic power, then you think, are sabko pagal banaya. Hai na? Like some rishis, they can make gold come from their hand, like from ash. You think, are sabko pagal bana rahe. Inko siddhi thodi hai. Right? So father and mother were thinking this boy must be making up the story. So the father said, I'm going to offer again, and I want you to offer again. This time I'll witness. So the boy went, made the tali, offered it, and this time they weren't closing the part of the curtain. And the father hid. He said, I want to see if Govinda is eating the food or not. So 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Raghunandan, the boy, is crying, oh Lord, you're not eating. Bhaiya, khao, kyo tension mein hai? Aap kha le, please eat, please eat, please eat. Krishna didn't want to come. Why? His father didn't have full faith. But he began to cry for so long that, anyhow, when his father was not paying attention, a little distracted, Krishna appeared and took one laddu in his hand and started to eat the laddu. Then all of a sudden the father saw, and he came out and he said, oh Gopinath, you love my son, not me. You're accepting his offering, not mine. Krishna is not answering. Why? His mouth is full of laddu. No answer. Therefore his name is like Laddu Gopal, Laddu Gopinath. You can find that deity. He has in his hand, they worship the deity like that. His hand has half a laddu. So you see Krishna's, so this is in bhakti, what do we learn from the boy? No. Our heart should be pure, we should have faith. Faith is important. There's one story of a boy, there was a village. And this village had a drought for a very long time. So everyone decided, this is a famous story. Everyone decided that we should go pray to the Lord for rain. So when everyone was going to pray to the Lord for rain, this one young boy brought an umbrella. And everyone began to make fun of him. It hasn't rained. Radhe Shyam, Hare Krishna. Betiye. Aye. Hasn't rained for a long time. Why are you bringing an umbrella? He said, you're praying to God for rain. Of course I'm going to bring an umbrella. You see? People think, oh, faith, devotion. Many people think faith, devotion, this is for less intelligent people. It's also for more intelligent people. I know if I have a friend, in Vrindavan. And he's told me some different miracles he's personally witnessed, similar to this. Once you've seen it, then you have some different level of faith. But what I tell people, don't think life is just what you see on the surface. There's a lot more to life. There's a lot more to life, And the funny thing is, the more scientists are stretching the borders of science, the more they're starting to see, and become more like mystics. A lot of this, the more science is pushing the frontier of knowledge, the more they're having to accept some spiritual reality. So, this is the boy. From this boy we learn we should have faith in Krishna, that he can accept our offering. There's a verse in Brahma Samhita, Angani yasya sakalindriya vritti manti, pashanti pantis, right? That the Lord can accept your offering just with his eyes, or even without eyes. Those who believe in the Lord, right? He's not limited like us. If I say, oh, here, take this food, unless you eat it, you don't get satisfied. But for him, it said even when you're offering it, he accepts the offering. Then it's proper. When you're in the grocery store shopping, when you're cooking it, when you're offering it, and then when you're feeding the devotees. Actually, the offering is not complete until the devotees have eaten. Why? The Lord says, I also accept through the mouth of the Brahmins. So this is one nice pastime related to prasad. I'll tell one other about another sadhu. See, the point I'm making is, a saintly person, it doesn't mean they're old, or they're young, or they're a man, or they're a woman, or they're renounced, or they're a householder. They can be in any circumstance. So this next story is about shows. There's one associate of Lord Chaitanya's name is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. It's also his appearance day. Pundarik Vidyanidhi lived like a king. He was very wealthy, and he lived a very opulent life. And sometimes people would criticize him. Oh, you're a devotee of Krishna, you should be poor. Right? Then you're a devotee. There's a funny story also related to Mahabharata. One time, Yudhisthira Maharaj, he prayed to Krishna. Krishna was very happy. He said, oh, what would you like? And you know what Yudhisthira Maharaj prayed for? He said, I want to be very wealthy, have a lot of opulence, everything should be very nice. And Krishna was smiling. He knows Yudhisthira's heart has no desire for opulent life. He's Dharmaraj. So he said, why? Yudhisthira Maharaj said, why? Krishna, everyone says your devotees are poor. It's better we worship Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's devotees are very wealthy. This is like a paradox. Lord Shiva, he doesn't have a house. He lives in Kailash. Parvati Mata, when she wants to take bath, she has to go into a cave. And they have to set up like a hot bath. This is the story of Ganesh. You know his Ganesh story. She would say, oh Prabhu, why don't you give me a house? But Lord Shiva's followers are very wealthy. And yet he is very poor. And Lord Krishna, he is the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. But his devotees are very poor. All Krishna's devotees say, Krishna, this is for you, aapke liye. And Shiva says, okay, this is, you see, if you hear the prayers, what they ask from Lord Shiva, like, hairan ho jayega. What people pray to Lord Shiva for, and what he gives, he's very happy. Lord Shiva is so merciful, he accepts all the bhutas and the pretas as his own associates. This is Lord Shiva's mercy. He's like father of the universe. Lord Shiva says, those people who have no shelter, I will be their shelter. So the Brahma Rakshasas, the Bhutas, the Pretas, the Pisachas, they're all Lord Shiva's gun. So Krishna, his devotees, Yudhisthira said, I want that I'll be very wealthy, so that people don't criticize you and say your devotees are poor. Krishna said, what can I do? I accept, I grant the boon. You'll be very wealthy, okay? Shant ho jao. You'll be very wealthy. He got the whole kingdom, right? In the end, he won the kingdom, right? After he won the kingdom, a few years later, he left, He took Vairagya. After he won the kingdom, Yudhisthira, then after a few years, he took Vairagya. Kyun? Isme koi moh nahi. He didn't have any attachment to it. One time, there's a funny story of Lord Vishnu. Today is story time, bas. I want to glorify the devotees, but if we just do it like in chronology, it just becomes like a history lesson, right? So, Lord Vishnu, one time, Narad Muni came to Lord Vishnu and said, Prabhu, why are your devotees poor? Many of Krishna's devotees, like Sudama, very poor, right? No house even. Very like Jupi Jopari mere rehte the, na? So Narad Muni said, why are they poor? And Bhagavan said, what can I do? They have no desire, Samalos tasma kanchana. There's a verse in Bhagavatam that says, for Krishna's devotees, they see like a stone, a clod of earth, and a lump of gold like equal. This is Vishnu's devotees. Why? They are, by Vishnu's grace, they are what Krishna says in the Gita, right? Sukha dukha same kritva, labh lava jaya jayo tatha yudhayujasad. They are equal in happiness, distress, loss and gain. This is Krishna's mercy. So Narad Muni said, let's test them. So they went to earth and they found one couple. They were very poor, named Raka and Baka. Very poor devotees. They lived in the forest. They would go in the forest and collect sticks of wood and sell it in the marketplace and get just enough to maintain their life each day. So Narad Muni, he said, Lord Vishnu asked him for some wealth. Lakshmi Devi gave him all these gold and jewel ornaments, a whole pile, plates. Nah. What they did is when they were going on the forest path, Narad Muni placed the gold in the pathway around the corner, and then he hid. And Lord Vishnu and Narad Muni were looking from behind the tree. And as Raka and Baka came along the path, the husband was walking a little bit ahead, like 20 paces. And he first saw the jewels, right? So as he was walking, he tried to use his feet to cover, it's like sandy path. So he used his feet to try to cover the jewelries. He thought, definitely, what would we do, right? First you look, anyone is watching or not. Up, down, side, side. But he was using his feet very quickly to try to cover it. And as he was doing this, his wife came behind him and said, why are you covering dust with dust? Baba, see your gyan. Why are you covering dust with dust? And then Vishnu looked at Narad Muni and said, see my devotees? Narad Muni said, okay, you win. Very nice. Now I'm telling the story of this associate. Now we'll understand it more, right? So this devotee's name is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He lived very opulently. And Lord Chaitanya loved him so much. Lord Chaitanya was renounced. He was a sannyasi. But he would always glorify this devotee, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he said, he is such a high-class devotee, you don't understand him. Because sometimes people were criticizing him. Then you go to his house. Now he stays in a big, opulent bed. And he has his hookah pipe. And he's taking hookah and he's like, he takes hookah, then he takes pan. He's wearing gold, jewels, very opulent. And he's Krishna devotee. And we say, oh, you are taking hookah. How are you Krishna devotee? You imagine if I were to say now, Bhaiya, hookah lao. यहाँ लगा दो, मैं बीच में पीऊंगा. बड़ी आनंद. इसके बाद ये चूर्ण चटनी क्या बनाएंगे? बॉन्ग की लासी. बनाओ. रुचि आप बनाओ, एक बॉन्ग की लासी शुरू करो और मैं हुक्का पीऊंगा. आनंद आएगा. आनंद आएगा. आनंद आएगा. Lord Chaitanya never took these things. One time, Lord Chaitanya, he was with Lord Nityananda, like his brother. And they came to a sannyasi's house. And the sannyasi fed them. After he fed them, the sannyasi said, Anandalo, Anandalo, will you take Ananda? And Lord Chaitanya said, yes. Harinam Ananda. The Lord's name gives bliss. The sannyasi said, no, Ananda. Should I bring Ananda? Ananda Lao. And Lord Chaitanya said to Nityananda, what does he mean, Ananda Lao? Ananda Lao. Lord Nityananda is very clever. He traveled the world. Lord Chaitanya was bole wale, innocent boy. But Lord Nityananda is very clever. He said, oh, Ananda Lao, Ananda means wine. The sannyasi is saying, khana ho gaya, chal, dal, puri, sabji, kachori. But the food is not complete until I take wine. So the sannyasi was saying, Ananda Lao, Ananda Lao. Lord Chaitanya heard this and he got up. He said, Pranam Baba. He got up and he ran out. Why? He's sannyasi. He doesn't take these things. Either side, he is glorifying Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Contradiction or not? He said, you cannot Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyan Anubujai. You should not try to criticize or even understand the nature of very high level devotees. Right? What they are doing, what is their bhav, that is with them and Krishna. Don't criticize. Some people were criticizing. Then Mahaprabhu said, I want you to go have his darshan. Go see him. So some devotees went and saw him. And he was on his bed, living very opulently. This is Gadadhar Pandit and Mukunda Prabhu. And Mahaprabhu told Mukunda, when you go to see him, I want you to chant some verses about Krishna and see what happens. So Mukunda began to sing a Krishna verse. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam. Right? This very beautiful verse about Lord Krishna. That how Krishna is so merciful. The last line goes, Kamva dhayalum sharanang brajema. How merciful is Krishna that Putana came to kill him in the guise of a mother. In the guise of a mother, she put poison on her breast, enough poison to kill many elephants. And Krishna, he's so sweet, so loving, so kind. He simply closed his eyes and she offered him, take my breast milk. Krishna took it. He's so kind, he accepted that. And then what else did he do? He liberated her and he gave her a position like his own mother. Le begatim datri uchitam. He made her like his own mother in Goloka. Why in Goloka Krishna has many mothers? All the elderly gopis want to be his mother, all the cows. So you see how merciful Krishna is. So first he began to recite this verse. All of a sudden Pundarik Vidyanidhi began to cry, like tears of ecstasy. Then he said one verse, Bardhapitam natavara varna karnayor karnikaram. He began to glorify Krishna's beauty. And glorifying Krishna's beauty, this person, very opulent, very healthy, taking hookah, who knows what they're doing, but they say like that, no? He began to tear. It said his tears came out like jets. I know someone who's seen like this happen. So there's one, disciples of Srila Gauragovinda Goswami Maharaj. They said sometimes when he would cry in ecstasy, the tears would come out straight, like 10 inches, 15 inches. That's how much ecstasy they would feel. Hair stand on end. He began to roll. Sometimes your color in your body gets red and white, He experienced these symptoms of ecstasy. Then the devotee said, oh, just see his love and devotion. So from this we learn, when they went back to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was very happy. Then Gadadhar Pandit, he took initiation from this devotee. This devotee became his guru. Gadadhar Pandit is one of Lord Chaitanya's chief associates. He's considered to be like an incarnation of Sri Radha. Sri Radha, who is higher than Sri Radha, right? Uma Rama Satya Sachi Chandra Rukmini Radha Avatar Shab Amnayavani. It said that Sri Radha is the highest form of the goddess for us. Uma Rama Satya Sachi Chandra Rukmini Lakshmi, they all come from Sri Radha. Srimati Radhika's expansion, this devotee, Gadadhar, he took initiation from this devotee, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Why? Je bhaje she bhara abhakta hinachar, Krishna bhajana nahi jati kuladi vichar. When you look at the devotees of Krishna, you don't think who is greater according to, this one is sannyas, this one is grihastha, this one is child, this one is senior. Je bhaje she bhara, those who have the most love and devotion, they're the most advanced. One example is like Shabari and Ram Leela, right? Those who know the story of Shabari. She was a very humble, simple lady. She served in the ashram, and many brahmacharis were against, why are you letting a lady in the ashram? You know the story of Shabari, so I don't have to go into the whole story. But Lord Ram accepted her devotion. He didn't accept the devotion of those who are proud of their scholarly learning. They said, I know Sanskrit. Shabari doesn't know Sanskrit. She is Adivasi. Like Aborigine, nah. They said, we know Sanskrit, we are very qualified, but Lord Ram didn't accept their puja. And he said, until you take shelter and ask forgiveness from her, you won't get mukti. It reminds me of the story of this boy, nah. I told the story of the boy who offered and Krishna took the laddu. So later, Mahaprabhu asked his father, Kaun bare? Aap ya aapka bachcha? Who is greater, you or your son? Who is the father, he said. Mahaprabhu asked, who is the father? What kind of question? Nah, here's my son. Why are you asking who is the father? But Mukunda said, no. Jai bhaje she bara. Abhakta hina char. Krishna bhajana nahi jati kulavid vichar. Doesn't matter whether you're a man, woman, young or old. The more devotion and love you have for the Lord, that's what he accepts. This is the superiority of bhakti. In the path of gyan or yoga, it's about your actual merit or your capacity, right? Who can stand on their head longest? Who can do what asana the best? Who can have mystic powers? Who knows the most? With bhakti, it's very easy. Bas. Kon Bhagavan zyada bhajte. Who worships the Lord the most? That's why Krishna says, Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. If you worship me with love and stay connected with me in love, then I give you intelligence to come to me. I was saying this the other day now, right? Now AI is so advanced. Give it another 50 years, 20 years, 5 years. We're going to say, who's smarter, you or AI? 10 years ago, people would say, what do you mean? What's AI? Now AI is so fast, but it's never going to be faster in intelligence than Krishna Bhagavan. So no need to apply our intelligence in bhakti. We need it, but what does it mean to apply your intelligence in bhakti? Study Bhagavad Gita. That's Krishna's knowledge, not yours. Study Bhagavatam. That's Krishna's knowledge. Then you also apply your intelligence. But what I'm saying is, by our own intelligence, we can't reach God. The more you try to find God with your intelligence, you'll just say, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. That much you can do. Why? Your intelligence is conditioned to matter, which is where we are. I am stuck in a material body. So I cannot find God with my intelligence. Why? I'll say, Ye Bhagavan, hey, are speaker hai? This is not God, this is not it. Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this, not this. You ask Prahlad, where's God? He says, yes, he's also here. You know Nrsingadev Leela, right? Yes, Bhagavan hai. Why? Anvaya Vyatarik, indirectly. Indirectly he's there. Anyhow, so this boy, the father said, he is my father, I am his son. Kyonki he has more love and devotion than I. Okay, so now we've done 2 stories. How much time? Why don't we have a short kirtan in between? Okay. What do you like? More katha or kirtan? Public poll. Who wants kirtan? Raise your hands. Everyone's ready for more katha. Okay. I have a lot of stories in my pocket. Radhe Radhe. To tell one story, you have to tell 3 stories. That's how it goes. Otherwise, it's just like a list. This Pundarik Vidyanidhi is great associate of the Lord. We're not saying we follow that, right? For us, what do? We have to follow the rules and regulation. We don't take intoxication, we don't do all these different things, right? Pundarik Vidyanidhi is, he's there to show us. Actually, in Krishna Leela, he's considered Vrishabhanu Maharaj, Srimati Radhika's father in Krishna's Leela. Vrishabhanu Maharaj, right? He's Radharani's father, and he's also one angsa of the Surya. So the point is, we are not on that level to criticize. And we're also not on that level to imitate. We are not trying to imitate, and we're also not trying to criticize. That's why Lord Chaitanya arranged this. All these pastimes are there to help train us how to be a good devotee, in the sense that how can we actually progress. Criticism halts our progress and even can destroy what we've made. Not only does it halt your future progress, but it destroys what you have already gained. Therefore, we should be very careful not to criticize Vaishnavas. At the same time, we should be very careful not to imitate Vaishnavas. We cannot become like Pundarik Vidyanidhi, hukalao, yelo, lelo. Then we do aparad. Not aparad, then we don't have that capacity. Therefore it says, Tejyan na doshayat. A fire can eat anything and stay pure. Why? Fire is purifying. Right? Stun God is purifying even from like urine and stool. Right? But we cannot do that. So anyhow, Vishnupriya Devi. Vishnupriya Devi, we say, oh, she's lady. She's not Lady Baba, she's Bhagavan Shakti. But many great devotees, anyhow, I don't have to explain this, you all know this, right? There's many examples of great gurus who came in, are like female, right? There's many examples in Shastra. But we don't have to get into that. But Vishnupriya, yesterday was also her appearance day. So by hearing her glories, we get a lot of mercy. She is considered the Lord's Leela Shakti. When Lord Chaitanya left home, she did her austerities. You know what she would practice? She would chant japa. And as she would chant each mantra, sometimes one round, then she would take 1 grain of rice. Sometimes she would chant one mantra, and with each mantra, her tears would wash the rice. And in that way, she would 4 or 5 hours do her mantras, then she would have a little pile of rice, and then she would cook it for the Lord. And she would cook every day and feed it to Dameshwar Mahaprabhu. There's one famous deity of Mahaprabhu called Dameshwar. And she would offer it him. When Lord Chaitanya left, he said, that you're going to be very... he knew that they would be very sad in separation from him. So he said, you can make my deity form. For those who don't have faith in Murti, this is the Lord's incarnations. He always establishes this. That you should worship me with love through my Murti. Right? Recently, I'll give you an example. I was in India and our guru there, he was talking about this same topic, Murti. And he was talking about Arya Samaj. We're not criticizing them, but he said that one time the founder of Arya Samaj, they saw that there was a Shiva Linga. He went with his parents for Shivaratri. And he saw that everyone worshipped Lord Shiva and they kept some food there. And one rat came and ate it and left some stool. And he said, if the Murti cannot even take care of himself, why should we worship Murti as Bhagavan? Make sense? What do you think? What's your counter argument?
Maybe it's God's will.
Yes, very good. Our Guru said, God is not like us, so sentimental. The whole material world is his energy. We're thinking, this is clean, this is unclean. Baba, he is Shanti. Lord Shiva is Shanti. That's not saying to us, like sometimes we're in our own temple, and if you don't clean the altar, sometimes you find like mice will come, right? You leave laddu there, you leave sweets there, they can leave some token gift. It's like black kalanji, double kalanji. This is mouse gift, right? So it's not saying we should leave it there. But the Arya Samaji, the founder, said, if he cannot take care of himself, why should we worship him? Bhagavan is not so sentimental like us. Right? Like the example given is if a mother has a baby, when the baby is very young, the baby is passing stool and urine on the mother's lap. She doesn't mind. Once you're grown up, then you shouldn't do it. Right? But when you're a baby, no problem. So Krishna hum sab Bhagavan ka bachcha hai na? Kya bolte na? Mamai vangso jiva loke. We are Krishna's living entities, are Krishna's part and parcels. Krishna says, right, Pitahamasya jagato mata data apyuttamaha. I am father and mother of the creation, right? Krishna is very kind. Lord Shiva is more kind, like very, very tolerant. He has no problem like us. But he's also doing this to test your faith. No. There's so many examples of the Murti performing different miracles. But Lord Chaitanya said, I don't want you to be dependent on this. Right? This is like conditional faith. Oh Lord, unless you do a miracle, I don't have faith in you. Right? Oh Lord, unless you show me, like once, recently there was a Gopal Didi in India, and it was very famous that he would drink the milk. Right? And everyone had made a huge thing, oh, Gopal is drinking the milk, Gopal is drinking the milk. Then we say, oh, Gopal, if you're not drinking my milk, I'm going to throw you out. Right? Then we are Gnostic, not Astic. Baba, the Lord can do as he likes. He is transcendental. We often want to make the Lord material like us. Right? The Lord should be material. The Murti is, he is there in his achintya form, inconceivable form. But he is also not material. You understand? The Murti is not material. Why do you want to make him material? He should walk and talk and sit with you and eat with you and play with you. Then you'll say, oh Bhagavan, mere saath movie dekho. Bhagavan, mere saath football khelo. Bhagavan, mere saath ye game karo, Nintendo. Right? If Bhagavan shows himself to us, we're still conditioned soul. We want to make him material like us. He is not material like us. He is transcendental. That's why it's called Nirgun. Right? Sagun, but Nirgun. Same time. So that's why this story of Raghunandan, the little boy, he had such faith and devotion that the Murti was able to take his offering. There's many examples like this, not one. Some people will know the story of Shakshi Gopal. Have you heard of Shakshi Gopal? Very quickly, I'll mention it. We have time, right? Shakshi Gopal, there's one famous deity, big Krishna deity. You know him. Shakshi Gopal, see? So one time there was a Brahmin who worshipped Shakshi Gopal. There miracle hua. My glass disappeared. Someone took my glass. Recently, I'll give you an example of my guru. The gurus or the murtis, they don't have to show their miracles to you. Why? Then your faith becomes weak. It becomes dependent. This is like a stage. They're testing. You have faith or not. But ek stage aayega, wo sakshatkar hoga. That stage will come when they'll give you direct experience. But testing our faith is part of the process. Right? You see like Nrsingadev and Prahlad. When did Nrsingadev didn't come right at the beginning? He came after all the atrocities. Then he came at the end. After Prahlad showed, he had no fear. He had faith. It said he was chanting the Lord's names. And when you're chanting the Lord's name, all these, nothing, Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare ke. He was protected. So Krishna is testing our faith. But yet the miracles are also real. I saw this recently with one of our gurus, our Shiksha Guru. He told me something that no one could possibly know. Because no one knew that but me. Right? They call it like extrasensory perception, right? ESP. You've heard of it? The guru, we say guru knows, bhut bhavishya vardman. I saw this with my own eyes. But he doesn't show that. He lives his life like very simple. He's cooking, not even sannyas, living very peacefully, simply. But hey, sab kuch chala rahe. Jo hamara Guruji na. He showed me sometimes like his mystical powers. One time, I'll give you another example. One time he was feeding someone in the room. And he had this big tiffin, like 4 levels. And there was a couple and they had many problems, like black magic on them. And they said, can you help us? He said, yes, I'll fix the black magic with white magic. And he was just talking and laughing and joking. He kept feeding them out of these tiffins. It took like 1 hour. And itna chota tiffin, itna sara saman kahan se aaya? You understand? It was like a miracle. He was feeding, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Now I'm telling people to think, is it true or not? Right? But Baba, when you see it with your own eyes, then it's very hard to say it's not true. But the goal of their life isn't to show these mystical powers. Otherwise, your faith becomes weak. Oh, I have faith in you. Why? Because you're a Siddha yogi. If you cannot produce gold from ash, I have no faith in you. One time, Swami Prabhupada, this is Swami Prabhupada's story. Swami Prabhupada was preaching in the West. I've heard this in maybe Lilamrita or one of the disciples' descriptions of Swami Prabhupada. So he was in New York City, and someone pointed at the skyscraper and said, how many windows are in the skyscraper? Right? He said, you are Guru, you should know everything. How many windows are in the skyscraper? Prabhupada smiled, and he said, how much water is in a mirage? Right? We want to make these gurus do mystic things for us, right? You know what he would say, our Gurudev would say, Baba, he is taking a conditioned soul, making them liberated, making hippies into happies, and making those hippies who became happy into Siddha yogis. That is a miracle or not? You want to find a cheap 5 rupee miracle? That's why we told the story the other day. Our Guruji, when he was a boy, he saw someone left his village when he was young, meditated in the forest for 12 years. After 12 years, they came back to this village and they called everyone, come, 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 come. And after calling everyone to the bank of the river, they walked across the river and back. Everyone said, oh, ho, ho, now he is Siddha Yogi. Pranam kiya. Oh, please be our Guru. The village leader said, Are yaar, he wasted 12 years of his life to learn one trick. I can pay 1 paisa and go across the river. Right? Why spend 12 years just to learn how to walk across the river? This is 1 paisa trick. Anyhow, all glories to these Siddha yogis, right? The point is, bhakti devotion is even more powerful. Right? We think, oh, if the miracle doesn't happen, right? But our bhakti is not so weak. Right? Asli bhakti hai. Bas, you know what? It's called faith. The one description of faith is this. That Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. By worship to Krishna, devotion, all necessary activities are accomplished. Right? That if you do nirantar, like unbroken Krishna bhakti, that was uttama bhakti, pure devotion. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam bhakti uttama, unbroken devotion, then all necessary things are accomplished. So there's one more, now that we're talking about miracles. Our Gurudev, when he was a police officer, his name Narayan Tiwari. He was a police officer, but he loved Ram Katha so much. He would try to get breaks from work and go hear Ram Katha. So one time Ram Katha was going on, and it was like this 24-hour Ram Katha. So he had a nighttime duty, nighttime shift. He thought, okay, I'm going to go to the Katha for afternoon, and night I'll go to my work. But he got so absorbed in the Katha that he forgot his job. The next morning he went to the office, and he thought he was going to get fired. The SB called him, and he said that last night I came to see who was asleep at their post, who was missing, and I saw you, Narayan Tiwari, managing everything very nicely. Therefore, I'm giving you a promotion. Gurudev spent the whole night in Ram Katha. He was saying, all night I was in Ram Katha. I forgot that I had to go to my job. Nah. But I got there, and the SP said, oh, I saw you doing everything very nicely. Why? They were like patrolling. It was a big, like Buxar Bihar is like one of the main cities. Nah. He said, I saw you doing your post very nicely. And Gurudev said, oh Ram, aap jane aapka kaam. How is it possible? We think possible, not possible. Agatana gatana patiyasi shakti. Anything is possible for Ishwar. Anything is possible for Ishwar. He has the power to make the seeming impossible possible. ठीक है? Now one kirtan or continue katha? Okay. As long as you're, not bored. Ready to go. Okay. I'm giving breaks because I want to talk about all 5 people. I'm trying to give stories about all 5 personalities. So I want to give an example through this one personality, how we can learn from him to be very enthusiastic, but also very focused on a goal. Right? Enthusiasm is good, but running around in circles isn't so good. So in bhakti, we should have some aim. What is our goal? What is our desire? There's a verse that says, unless we have a goal in mind, our sadhana is not considered real sadhana. We have to have a goal. The verse says, Kriti sadhya bhavit sadhya bhavasa sadhanabhida nitya sirasya bhavasya prakritam hridi sadhyata. Unless we're aiming at bhav bhakti, that means divine love of God, then our sadhana is not real sadhana in this path. Otherwise, we're thinking, I did some japa, sadhana ho gaya. But kya aim hai? What is your goal? What is your desire? Without that, this sadhana is only like, we are going in circles. Like you can get in your car, what? Only joy riding. Joy riding bhakti. We should have some desire. So this devotee I'll speak about, he's a very good example of that. When I was a young boy, I was very inspired by him. His name is Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami. Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami, he was born in a family that were extremely wealthy. Very wealthy. But from his childhood, he had a mood of renunciation. Lord Chaitanya He was preaching at that time. Lord Chaitanya had taken sannyas, he began to preach. And this boy, at that time he became like a young man. He came to Lord Chaitanya and he said, I want to follow the path of renunciation. He was still a young boy, maybe 15, 16. Lord Chaitanya said, Gare jao na hao batul. You should stay at home. Don't be like a madman. Don't try to, this is one thing we learn. We don't try to artificially become renounced or quickly become renounced. Lord Chaitanya told him, Gare jao na hao batul, krame krame bhava sindhu kul. Gradually you'll cross over this ocean of birth and death. Right? So Raghunatha Das Goswami went home. Lord Chaitanya, he went to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is where Lord Chaitanya was living and practicing his bhakti, doing his leela. So Raghunath, he really wanted to be renounced. It's said that his parents got him married at a young age to a girl who was like, Gurudev would say, Miss Universe. Very beautiful lady. So they got him married, but he still wasn't interested in household affairs. He would keep trying to run away. You see the nature, like you can't change. That's why we tell parents. As parents, we try to find the kids' nature, and if it's good for them, try to encourage them in that. If you try to do something by force, it can backfire. This boy was married to Prince, like Miss Universe. That's what our Guru would say. And he had so much opulence. He would have been like a king. But he kept trying to run away from home. And the parents had to have guards watching him. So that every time he would run away from home, the guards would catch him and bring him back. Like it looks like you have, and he would make them guards that look like sevaks. Oh, do you want some more water? Do you want some nice food? 24 hours a day, they're like tending him, He's sleeping in his room, they're outside the house, inside. 3-4 times he tried to run away from home. Then, his father was dharmic, and so he would spend some of his money on festivals. So one time, Lord Nityananda, everyone knows Lord Nityananda mostly. Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya's brother, he's considered the root of all gurus. So without Guru's mercy, you can't reach God. This story shows that. When you get Guru's mercy, then Krishna's mercy comes very easily. Guru Krishna prasade by bhakti lata bij. By Guru's mercy, you meet Krishna. And by Krishna's mercy, you get Guru. This is how it's described. So Raghunath, he went to Nityananda. This is at a famous place called, the leader is called Panihati. I'm just giving the essence. Time is going. I just want to give the essence. Usually each of these stories will take up like 20 minutes. That's why, we're like jumping very quickly through the narrative. So, Lord Nityananda was giving a lecture and kirtan in front of a huge assembly, like thousands of people. And this boy came at the back of the audience and he offered his pranam. Lord Nityananda saw him and he said, Chor, thief, come here in front. Why are you hiding in the back? So the boy came forward. Lord Nityananda placed both his lotus feet on the boy's head. He said, may all your desires be fulfilled. And he said, I want to leave my family life and go to Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Nityananda smiled. He said, I give you the mercy, let it be so. You see, Lord Chaitanya, God will not give you mercy directly so easily. Lord Chaitanya wanted him to wait, get Lord Nityananda's mercy. Lord Chaitanya said, stay at home. But Lord Nityananda, Guru, he said, no problem, you can accept the path of renunciation. Why is it different from Guru and God? God is equal to everyone. And he knows, if he leaves home, the parents will be very sad. So many things, so many considerations. And you don't want to prematurely do anything. But if Guru gives you mercy, everything is successful. If you get Guru's real mercy, then all your obstacles are removed. So he said, make a big feast. So Raghunath made a huge feast. This is a famous pastime in Gaur Leela. Those who know the pastime will go ahead. Chir Dahi Mahotsav. Huge feast. He fed all the thousands of people there. Afterwards, he went home. what happened is, Guru gave his mercy, so the path was opened. So there's one devotee, his guru was called Yadunandan Acharya, his family guru. So one day Yadunandan Acharya said, please help me, we need a pujari at the mandir. So Raghunatha Das Goswami said, I'll be that pujari. And he told his parents, I have to go do puja. And he made some excuse like that, and instead of going to do the puja, he tricked them, he ran into the jungle. And you know what he did? For the next 12 days, he didn't, because the guards used to go and catch him. I'm telling the story very fast, so excuse me. He used to try to escape on the main path, and the guards would find him and catch him. So this time he ran into the jungle, and it said for 12 days, normally it takes like 30 days to get there to Puri. But he himself went through the jungle, he barely ate or slept, and he was just running and running and running. You see how much enthusiasm he had, right? Enthusiasm with an aim. This is bhakti, right? Utsaha, I have enthusiasm, but no aim, then you're just like a very enthusiastic child, running around, running around, running around. So we learned from Raghunatha Das Goswami, we should be enthusiastic, but we should have an aim. In this way, very quickly he got to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was very happy. He said, you got out of the dark well of family life. He praised him. He said, very nice. And he put him under shelter of Swarup Damodar Goswami, and he began to do bhajan like that. Okay. So, we've covered 4 of these personalities. Now only Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, one more. Let's do 5-minute kirtan, okay? 5-minute kirtan. And then if you want, we can continue. Up to you. Okay, you pass me the mridanga, I'll sing kirtan. Why already katha is going on? 1 hour. I'll do 1 kirtan and then we'll conclude. Okay? Mridanga de do. Okay. Normally I like to tell 1 or 2 stories and then expand on it. But it's very auspicious to hear the glories of these personalities. ठीक है, एक कीर्तन करेंगे फिर conclusion. बोलो राधे राधे गोविंदा गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंदा गोविंद राधे बोलो राधे राधे गोविंदा गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंदा गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंदा गोविंदा 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 राधे बोलो बोलो Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Bolo Bolo Jaya Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Oh bolo Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Oh Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe Vivo Kanchana, have you made offering yet? Okay, perfect. So while we're making the offering, we'll do 10 minutes more guitar. Hari Om. Jai Ho. So we'll end with one more personality. It's his disappearance day. Yesterday we're celebrating, but today. His name is Srila Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur. Very, very beautiful saintly person. His life is very glorious. I want to touch only on 2 points. Sometimes, different personalities, different gurus, they have some very important teaching or task to perform. And not everyone's happy with them. Why? Generally in this world, this is a good topic. A lot of times what happens is people become very, very attached to their viewpoints. And they can't see two things and accept them at the same time. This personality, Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, we learned that in his life. Sadhu, they're acting under the Lord's desire. Great sadhus. And whatever they're presenting, this is according to God's desire. But generally, the common people, we may or may not accept that. And we want to control them. So why am I mentioning that? Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's very famous for establishing the conception of Shri Radha Krishna's Parakiya Leela. That means they have very sweet Parakiya Leela, and he established this philosophy. But many of the other groups in Braj were against him for this. And they only see Swakiya Leela. That means Radha Krishna's wedded love. But the acharyas, they learn to teach and reconcile. And they teach that ultimately this is also a chintya. Right? That it's a long topic, so I don't want to get into the philosophy of that. But basically, Radha Krishna are eternal tattva, ek atma. Why? Through their love, they appear in two forms, but really you cannot divide them. So, one example, Parakya means unwedded. Like when Krishna did rasa dance. People say, why is Krishna doing rasa dance? The gopis are other gopas' wives. This is very bad. But Bhagavatam established it as very high class. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, there's a verse there. Napare hang niravadya samyudam swasada krityam vibudasya. O gopis, I cannot repay you. You are the greatest sadhus. This was very controversial at the time. Still very controversial. Right? People who don't follow the bhakti path. We accept it, right? We all know. We worship the gopis, and Srimati Radhika is the chief of the gopis. We accept this. At that time, thousands of years ago, Sukadeva Goswami spoke the Bhagavat in front of Parikshit Maharaj and all these sages, and he explained Krishna's Ras Leela and how Bhagavan is dancing with millions of gopis. And people thought this is not proper. This is Parakya Leela. There's different levels of Parakya. But you know what the philosophy says? Every soul is part and parcel of God. So for God to meet with any soul, to experience love and affection, how is that wrong? Actually, the material body, we may have many relations according to the body. According to the body, we have son, daughter, father, mother, brother, sister, friendships. That's all according to the body. But according to the soul, our eternal relationship is with God. That's why we say, right? Tvameva mata, tvameva pita, tvameva bandhu, tvameva saka, tvameva mama deva deva. Right. Why? Because our eternal relationship is with Krishna, with Bhagavan. However, as Ram, as Krishna, as Narayan, but the highest example of this is the love between the gopis and Krishna. Right? How Krishna glorified and protected the gopis. Chakravarti Thakur, he glorified Radha Krishna's Parakya Leela. And therefore people were ready to kill him. This is in history. It was, they were ready to kill him. Even now in Vrindavan, mostly everyone glorifies Swakya Leela. That means Radha Krishna were married. But were Radha Krishna married? Yes, in Bandirvan. See, this is achintya. Yes and also no. For God, yes and no can both be right at the same time. But your answer is right. Why? Eternally they are married. The example our Guru would give is, say you're living in America and you got married. Right? When you visit India, you don't have to get married again to prove it. Right? Marriage ho gaya. So Radha Krishna in Golok Dham, they're eternally together, eternally as one. But in this Braj Leela, to show their sweet Leela, they're also showing Parakya. This is reconciliation. And it said in one realm of Gokul Dham, in the eternal world, they're also there relishing their Parakya Leela. It's very sweet. That's why our line we say, Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar Parakya Bahve Jaha Brajate Prachar. Our sadhus are glorifying this Parakya Ras. This is not to imitate. This is only to understand Radha Krishna's one aspect of their sweetness and beauty. But because this Acharya was preaching this was a couple hundred years ago, right? Then some of the Samaj people, they wanted to kill him. So they hired a group of dacoits. And they said every day he goes on Vrindavan Parikrama. When he's going on Vrindavan Parikrama, that time it's not like now. No. Now you go on Vrindavan Parikrama, it's like a whole ocean, river of people. That back then, some Babas are there. It was called Fakirabad. Vrindavan used to be called Fakirabad. Why? All the beggars lived there. And the Muslim king didn't know what to do with the area, so they called it Fakirabad. No one wants to live there, only the beggars. It's like some abandoned place, and all the poor beggars, the 6 Goswamis are living there, then Bhugarbha Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, 8 different Goswamis. So this Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was living there, he would go on Parikrama every day. This is one more example of a miracle. Okay. Offering started?
I'm waiting.
Waiting. Okay, no problem. You can take 2 or 3 and start the offering. Okay? Start the offering. No problem. So he was going on parikrama, and there was a group of dacoits ready to, when it was like lonely and nobody was there, they're ready to kill him. They were following him. All of a sudden they lost sight of him. Why? There's many like bends, and different trees. At that time it was like a jungle. There was a narrow pathway in a jungle. At one moment he disappeared, and then they went to catch him, and they saw he was not there. It was like he hid. And they saw one little girl picking flowers. And they went to him and said, "Oh Baba, oh Larli, oh young girl, tumne Baba ko dekha? You saw Baba?" And she said, "No, I'm just picking flowers." And they said, "Oh, where did he go?" She said, "I don't know. I'm just picking flowers." So they let her go, right? They were coming to kill the sadhu, but by his mystical powers, he showed them this swarup. But he said, "I am only picking flowers for my Swamini, Srimati Radhika." So then again, they went ahead. They thought he must have gone ahead. We missed him. They went ahead and stopped, and then looked back again, and again they saw the Baba. Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur. So they offered pranam at his feet and said, "Oh, please forgive us. We wanted to harm you, but you showed us your glories." So they went back and told their boss, "Are Baba, he is not ordinary soul. At one moment he's a Baba, next minute he's like a young little gopi." One time our Gurudev, all connected to Gurudev, especially when he was doing his morning walks, our Gurudev would always be absorbed in dhyan. He would live in Hawaii, and the devotees would see him. He would be picking flowers, he would be picking herbs, and they would go and talk with him, and it was like he wasn't there, And he would say, "Oh," he had this internal mood that I am only the dear, very young maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So many of our gurus in our line, they have that bhav. Therefore they pray, "Padabjayostava vina varadasya meva nanyad kadapi samaye kiladheviyache sakyayate mama namostu nityam dasyayate mama rasostu dasostu satyam." That, "Oh Radhe, please give me the position of your dasi." That is my prayer. So now, this is very famous in Braj. Everyone is chanting Radhe Radhe now, right? Back in his time, people were very against this. Now we kind of take it for granted. Like in Vrindavan, we have very, very popular sadhus like Premananda Maharaj, right? Riteshwar Maharaj, and so many, Indreshu Upadhyaya Maharaj, or Krishna Chandra Sastri Maharaj, so many very illustrious, very qualified, very learned sadhus, and they're teaching us to chant Radhe Radhe and understand our glories. At the time of this sadhu, it said that the king in Jaipur, he had some ministers. And the king in Jaipur was protecting the deities when the Muslims were trying to destroy most of the temples. Then the king in Jaipur said, "Okay, Govindaji went to Jaipur. Now we go to Govindaji in Jaipur," right? Madan Mohan, Gopinath, Madhav, all the main deities were in Jaipur. So the king had some ministers, and he said, "We should not worship Radha with Krishna." You see, this Leela is there to show, the sadhus, some of the people in Vrindavan were against Chakravarti Thakur. His name Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur. They were against him. They said, "We'll kill him because he is teaching something we don't agree with." That's why we say, look, if you don't agree with somebody, you can discuss it, argue it even. If you need to fight, fight with your words. Don't try to kill them. Right? If you need to fight with someone, you should do satvik. Satvik debate means to establish the truth. This is satvik debate. Rajasic debate means I want to win any way by hook or crook. I just want to win. And tamasic debate means I just love fighting. You understand? 3 kinds of discussion. Who remembers, right? First kind of discussion is satvik, goodness. You're looking for the truth. And if someone establishes the truth nicely, you accept it and you say, "Wow, very nice." Rajasic debates. You want to win. Your only goal is to win. Whether it's truth or not, you just want to win. Tamasic debate means, I just love fighting. Right? The goal of I enjoy that. if you meet someone who loves to fight, it's very dangerous to fight with them because you'll get exhausted, but they'll get more energized. I know people in my life, right? Every day or two, they're picking fights with people. And they enjoy it. They love it. They're not happy unless they're fighting. You see them after they fought, and they're like bouncing around. And they think, tomorrow I'll fight again with somebody else. So we should not fight like that, especially with sadhus. That's why I said if sadhus have difference of opinion, then we should not get involved. One sadhu says this, another sadhu says this, and it contradicts. Then you don't, Haribol. It's like two bulls. Sometimes you say if two bulls are fighting, don't get in between. Very dangerous. So I'm going to finish this story. In Vrindavan, they were against him because he was preaching Parakiya Rasa, which means Radha Krishna also have that unwedded love. And that this is their Leela, and they enjoy this like human pastime. And it's very sweet for them. But another team, they were saying this is bogus, therefore we're going to kill him. And they hired a team of Dakars to kill him. When they went to kill him, he didn't fight. He became a little gopi. If he wanted, he could manifest, like Kali Mata's manifestation, sword and bow, and kill them all. You see? If he has the power to show his form like that, he also has the power to show a form with swords. People say, oh, gopis are very weak. Baba, gopis don't show their weapons. But when they do, you'd be very afraid. Right? Shri Radhaji, she killed 4 or 5 demons also. In the Puranas it's shown. One time there was a demon, Dumil Daitya. There's a whole history of it. But he attacked Radharani and the gopis. She took her bangle and snapped it and threw the bangle, and it chopped off his head. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. You understand? Gopis are very namra, very quiet, very peaceful. No, Lalita Saki is very bold. Radharani very strong. Right? She took one bangle and bas, Sudarshan Chakra ban gaya. Gala kat gaya. But this sadhu, he didn't fight. He said, you're fighting, you like fighting, but I don't want to fight with you. So he became like Geet, little baby girl, like a little village girl, and he was picking flowers. And they said, where did the Baba go? Oh, I cannot find the Baba. I don't know, I'm picking flowers. Then he went around the corner, again he was Baba. So he showed that power, right? Later on in Jaipur, the Jaipur king, he had ministers, and the minister said you should not worship Radha with Krishna because there's no evidence, that they were married. Bandirvat, there's one marriage, but that was with Lord Brahma. So if you argue it from a human perspective, Lord Brahma lives in Satyaloka. Lord Brahma lives in Satyaloka. When did he come down and marry Radha Krishna? That's like a folk tale. But it's true. Because we have faith and devotion, so we all declare it as true. And now anywhere you go in Braj Mandal, you could go anywhere in Braj Mandal, they always have this painting. Radha Kund has this painting. You've seen it perhaps? Radha Krishna are seated there, and Lord Brahma is doing the yagya, and they are married. You go to Radha Kund, you find it. You go to Vrindavan, you find it. Almost everywhere in Braj, they put that poster. But the atheists will say, oh, Radha did not marry Krishna. Why? Lord Brahma lives in Satyaloka. He cannot come to earth and do this. You need some earthly pandit. Lord Brahma thodi kiya. Kyunki nastik hai, no faith. Yes, he has faith. Therefore he's always happy, you see. So Jaipur king said, we will take Radha from the altar. Actually, it was only very recently, this is all, I'm telling you, don't take it for granted that we are, oh, Radhe, Radhe. Before, if you say Radhe, Radhe in society, people say, Radhe, Radhe, kyun naam le rahe? Ye to Krishna ka patni bhi nahi hai. Krishna's wife is Rukmini. If you want to worship Krishna with someone, why is Radha on the altar? Bring Rukmini. This is then bona fide. Rukmini Dwarkadish. Bona fide marriage. Right? So what happened? It was one lady actually, Janava Mata Thakurani, who she established that Radha's deities will be with Krishna. This was only 40, 50 years before this event. Not so, maybe 100 years. She established that every deity will have Radha. Anywhere there is Krishna, there should be Radha. Otherwise, Shaktiman without Shakti is not complete. Like you worship Shiva with Shakti, You worship Narayan with Lakshmi. You worship Krishna with Radha. This one lady established this. Lady meaning Lord's, I'm saying lady, right? What do we really mean? The Lord's divine potency. She established that Radha will always be with Krishna. After that happened, people started getting upset. No. Now it's famous. Now everyone can say Radhe Radhe and everyone says, yes, Radhe Radhe. But then it wasn't like that. They said Radharani will not be with Krishna, and they took away all her deities. And Krishna was alone, crying. Therefore, Krishna started this Radhe Radhe. And who knows, maybe Radharani was mad at Krishna, therefore she herself left. Radharani had man, so she arranged the pandits to do that. Who knows? So Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was very old at this time. He sent his disciple's name Baladev Vijabhushan, and he went to Jaipur, and he defeated all the different pandits. Many pandits were like Brahmavadis or Nirakarvadis. They say Bhagavan has no form. Why are you worshipping form anyhow? But if you're going to worship, at least worship only Krishna, not Radha. But for 4 or 5 days, they had a debate, and the king, he said, I accept that whoever presents the truth the best way, they'll be victorious. Why? He said, I won't rig the debate. If you rig the debate, it means you own the judge panel, and even you say the loser won, right? So after the debate, he said that Baladev Vijabhushan, on behalf of Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he won the debate. So Radha should be with Krishna. But the other side, they said, oh, you're Gaudiya Vaishnavas, you're all murkas, fools. Like even now, the Hittarivangsa, in our Sriman Mahaprabhu Hittarivangsa, right? He has no sastra, only poetry. Why? Everyone is fighting day and night over sastra. I read in this book this. I read in this book this. You open sastra, there's 100 Puranas, there's 1,000 Upanishad, the 4 Vedas. If you want, you can fight day and night over this statement and that statement. What's the use? Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, I'm only giving you 8 verses. And what am I telling you to do? Harinam. That's what Lord Chaitanya said. Harinam karo. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant Harinam. Why are you fighting over sastra day and night? Only because you love to fight, you want to control, and you want to establish yourself as superior. Baba, chant Harinam when you realize Bhagavan directly. When you directly realize God, then you won't want to fight anymore. Then you see anyone is fighting, say, Larne do, unka swabhav hai. There are natures to fight, let them fight. So Baladev Vijabhushan, he established Radharani's glories, but then they said you have no commentary on Vedanta. The opposing party said you have no commentary on Vedanta. So therefore you are not legitimate. So it said in 3 days, this Baladev Vijabhushan, the disciple of Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he meditated and he got inspiration from the Govindaji Didi. And Govindaji, it said that he wrote it, he called it Govinda Bhashya, the commentary on Vedanta by Govinda. He didn't take any credit for the commentary. Why? It was all received through his kind of connection with the Lord. We have faith, we're in that line, so we say like that. He called it Govinda Bhashya. Govinda is writing it. Again, an atheistic person would say, you're writing it and you're saying Govinda is writing it? How could we understand? You have Nishta or not, but this is the fact. So it said Govindaji wrote through him, and in 3-4 days he wrote the most amazing commentary of Vedanta, and then he came and he presented it to the assembly. Everyone read it and was astonished that this is the most precise, beautiful, well-explained Vedanta commentary of any sampradaya. From that time, now we have Radharani Didi with Krishna, and we can all chant Radhe Radhe. No one opposes us. But we should not, my conclusion is, we should not fight amongst each other. You worship like this, I worship like this. Kya problem hai? Someone wears tilak like this, someone wears another tilak. Kya problem hai? Shamananda Parivar has different tilak. Radha Kunwala wears different tilak. We wear different tilak. That doesn't mean we are better. Jai Bhaje Se Bara. Like Mahaprabhu said, the boy is the father is the son. Why? The boy has more bhakti. Raghunandan. Jai Bhaje Se Bara. Why are we fighting amongst each other? So our conclusion is, we should try to lift each other up, not pull each other down. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Vanchakalpatrivasya Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo. So we have one short announcement. Okay, before Prasadam, we have to eat now. So 2 minutes. You can leave it for the announcement. All right, so we ask for everyone's blessings. We've registered our Bhakta Bandhav mission here in Burlington, with this dear Abhishek Prabhu and his family. I know he's very shy, but we have to, the truth is the truth. Ever since, we came last year, he's like very fast and wants to move forward. So we're asking all of your blessings that we can serve here very humbly without a mood of competition. We just are looking for, few steps, few little area, right? That we will also do our Guru Maharaj Seva and Guru Varga Seva. And our founder acharyas are Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And we want to bring a greater spirit of harmony and collaboration and cooperation. Why? We're all following Sanatana Dharma. So we should not artificially create division. Some division is necessary to create the integrity of each space, right? We have to see unity in diversity. Why do we have diversity? For there to be any specific space, there has to be a container. And there has to be a division, like a wall. So sometimes people say, we have ISKCON society, we have Gaudiya Math society, now we are preaching different. Bhakta Bandhav, we are saying we are a servant of both. But we don't want to be involved in any quarrel or competition. We want to serve both and serve in the shadows. We are happy serving in the shadow. We're not looking for great things. It's not our dharma. But we are here, we want to practice little bhakti, do some programs, help society, establish, for the children, they are the future, why they should, take up this path, carry it forward. So we'll start some online, virtual, like with the parents. We'll do weekly, like Sunday school with the kids, and also train the kids to speak. So we'll tell like sweet stories, and then like give them 1 week to prepare, and then they can give their version of the story, their own insights, and this will help them develop leadership skills and speaking skills and confidence. So we're doing that, and let's see what God's desire is. But for now, we're registered here. So this is our Bhakta Bandhav Burlington. All right? It's just not by my desire or my intention, but I'm very happy to serve and participate. Wherever there's enthusiasm, then you have my full heart's love and support, and I am now like your servant. I'm not master, I'm everyone's sevak. I'm trying to be sevak, and I hope that everyone can serve together, going beyond just the container, but see the greater, mission. That we're all in the family of Lord Chaitanya, but we are very small, right? We are here to serve our big brothers and everyone. Vanchakapatrupasikripasinduvevacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Bolo Mahaprasadam ki. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.